A very warm welcome in the class of Mathematics 1. The topic of today's discussion is beta function and its problems. This topic comes under the module of Integral Calculus. Myself Rupak Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, JIS College of Engineering. The prerequisites for this class is, first, we have to revisit the idea of improper integral, like we have revisited the same idea for the gamma function class. Next, we have to make the clear idea on the types of improper integral as well as the convergence criterion for them. And finally, we need to have the idea of basic properties of beta function, which was discussed in the last class in this particular segment, because we are going to apply those properties in this class for solving the problems related to beta function. So let us start the class for today. Already this pictorial representation and this pictorial representation both are introduced to you in the very first class of beta function and gamma function, where it was indicated to you that these are the representation of beta function, and you can obviously search for online curve drawing softwares where you can put and requirement you can place and you can get the representation like this. Now, when we are going to apply the properties of beta function for solving the problems related to integrations to the specific improper integrations, then we must revisit the definition of beta function one more time. And all of us know that the convergent improper integral 0 to 1 x to the power m minus 1, 1 minus x whole to the power n minus 1 dx, with this particular criteria, m and n both are greater than 0, with this particular criteria, this improper integral, we call it beta function, and the parameters are termed as m and n, because after integrating the expression will be depending on m and n. So this is the basic definition of a beta function. Now we are already introduced with these properties that beta function is symmetric with respect to its parameters m and n. So beta mn is equal to beta nm. The proof is already discussed in the class where the introduction of beta function and gamma function was placed. Next, this property was also proved by the basic definition of beta function, that beta half is equal to pi. Then we have already represented the trigonometric representation of beta function in the term of sine and cos. And finally, we have also these properties that beta function can be represented in another way of algebraic representation. From this also we can claim that beta mn and beta nm are same. Now this is the most important part of beta function and gamma function, as this beta function class is discussed after the discussion of gamma function. That is why it is possible for us to place this particular relationship in this class, because already gamma function is known to us and the properties and the applications. Now we are going to introduce the beta function and its properties and applications in this class. So we can place this relationship, and it is very interesting that beta mn can be represented as gamma m into gamma n by gamma m plus n. This is so strong information that you will get the problems which will be tough in the context of beta function can be very easily solved with the help of gamma function by converting the problem into the problem of a gamma function with the help of this particular property. So this property is true only when we have m and n greater than 0, because m and n greater than 0 is the required criteria for the existence of the beta function also. So proceeding further, we get the first problem as to find out the value of beta 43. Now think about this. If the relationship between beta and gamma function is not established, not known, not presented here, then what is our job? Our job is to place in place of m 4, in place of n 3, and then try to find out the result of that improper integration with the help of the concepts of types and that convergence criterion for improper integration. But what we are doing here, we are using the relationship between beta function and gamma function. Now look at this. As beta mn is equal to gamma m into gamma n divided by gamma m plus n, we can write, placing m equal to 4 and n equal to 3 in this particular expression, we can write it as gamma 4 gamma 3 by gamma 4 plus 3. Now the problem is totally converted into a problem of gamma function, and also we are going to use that the property of gamma function, that gamma n plus 1 is equal to n gamma n. Using this property, we can write gamma 4, that is gamma 3 plus 1 is equal to 3 gamma 3, then 3 into 2 gamma 2, then 3 into 2 into 1 gamma 1, and gamma 1 is 1. So what we get actually in the context of this integral positive integer is as the parameter of a gamma function, what we can write, that gamma n plus 1 is clear. So by this particular property, what we can do, gamma 4 is gamma 3 plus 1 is equal to 3 factorial, gamma 3 is equal to gamma 2 plus 1 is 2 factorial, and gamma 7 is equal to gamma 6 plus 1, that is 6 factorial. So 3 into 2 into 1 into 2 into 1, then 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So we can cancel out this with this. We can cancel this 2 by 4, writing it here 2. So we get the result as 1 by 60. So where we have used the problem of integration, and to be specific, where we have used the problem of improper integration, where we have used the properties, the convergence of improper integration, nowhere. We have applied the concept of beta function, we have applied the concept of gamma function, we have applied the interrelationship between beta and gamma function, and using them we are solving the problems. So this is the beauty of the particular topic. Now proceeding further, we get another problem, that beta half half is equal to pi. Now look at this. If you can recall the first class related to beta and gamma function, we have proved this problem by applying this particular definition or representation of beta function in form of trigonometric function, and then putting m and n, we get this is sine to the power 0 cos to the power 0, it is 2 integration 0 to pi by 2 1 d theta. This 0 to pi by 2 is the limit of this integration, and we get it is pi. My question is, if we want to find out the same result with the help of the relationship between beta and gamma function, when we have solved this problem, at that time beta and gamma function's relationship was not known to us, but now the relationship of beta and gamma function is known to us. So if we want to find out beta half half with the help of the relationship between beta and gamma function, so it will be gamma half as gamma n, gamma m, gamma n, gamma m plus n, so gamma half plus half. So what we can write, gamma half is known to us, that is root over pi, and gamma 1 is known to us, that is 1. So we get root pi into root pi is equal to pi. Look at this, in both the cases we are getting the same result, and obviously it will be very much true that we can approach in 1000 manners of a mathematics problem, but if we are in the right direction, right track, ultimately we will reach to the fixed point, fixed answer, that is the answer for this particular problem is pi. Okay, so we have used these particular two properties here. We know that. Now we are proceeding further for the next problem. We are now trying to find out the value of cos to the power 6 theta. In your childhood days, you have the technique of integration cos theta, cos square theta, cos cube theta. But cos to the power 6 theta, if you want to approach the same problem into the same way, it will be tremendously tough. In some cases, it is not possible for you to find it out. But look at this, the beauty of the beta function and gamma function. We can approach this problem by this way. We know this, the relationship between beta mn and the sine and cosine function. So if I compare this one as sine to the power 0 theta like this and cos to the power 6 theta, this 0 will be equated to 2m minus 1 and this 6 will be equated to 2n minus 1. So if 2m minus 1 is 6 and 2m minus 1 is 0 and 2n minus 1 is 6, what we get? 2m minus 1 equal to 0 gives m equal to half and 2n minus 1 equal to 6 gives n equal to 7 by 2. So this problem means this problem can be written as 0 to pi by 2 sine to the power 2 into half minus 1 theta cos to the power 2 into 7 by 2 minus 1 theta d theta. And we know this structure. If we cancel out this 2, means if I take this 2 here in the left hand side, then this result will be half beta mn. So we can write it here half beta. What is m? Half. And what is n? 7 by 2. Now you can ask that how we can write beta half 7 by 2 is equal to 5 pi by 16. There is no need to write it directly. In your exam time, in your practice time, you have to do the problem by your own approach. It is easier problem than this conception. How we will approach this? So our target for this one is beta half comma 7 by 2. With the relationship between beta function and gamma function, what we can write? It is gamma half gamma 7 by 2 by gamma half plus 7 by 2 means gamma 4. So in the next line, what we can write? In place of gamma 4, we can write it as 3 factorial and gamma 4 means 3 factorial, so we can write it here. And gamma half is also known to us. Gamma half is root over pi. Now the question is, what is about gamma 7 by 2? So gamma n plus 1 is equal to n gamma n. Okay, so this will be written as gamma 5 by 2 plus 1. So we can write it as 5 by 2 gamma 5 by 2. Then 5 by 2 can be written as 3 by 2 plus 1. So 3 by 2 gamma 3 by 2. And in this manner, this gamma 3 by 2 can also be written as 5 by 2 will be there, 3 by 2 will be there, then it will be half gamma half. So this half gamma half is root over pi. So ultimately what we get? It is 3 factorial. Root over pi into root over pi is only pi. And here we get 5 by 2, 3 by 2, 1 by 2. 5 by 2, 3 by 2, 1 by 2 is nothing but 15 by 8. So it will be 15 by 8. 15 by 8 and it is 3 into 2, 6. So 15 by 8 into 6. So ultimately you will get this 3 factorial now can be written as 3 into 2. This 3 and 15 will be cancelled out. It will get 5 and this 2 will remain. So 8 will be coming over here. So ultimately you are going to get the answer as pi and this 2 and 8, that is 16, and this 5 is remaining, so 5 pi. So 5 pi by 16 into half is equal to 5 pi by 32. So we get the answer. Now the next problem tells us that to find out the value of 0 to pi by 2 sine to the power 7 theta cos to the power 5 theta. Now look at this, 0 to pi by 2 along with sine and cosine with some power gives us this clue or indication that we can use the relationship between beta function and its sine cosine expression under integration sign, and after that we will use the relationship between beta function and gamma function. So this problem is almost identical with the last problem we have discussed, where only cosine power is there, sine was having power 0, but here both of them are having non-zero power. So the solution process will be exactly same, the answers will be different. So this is the first step what we have to consider, beta mn is equal to this definition. Similarly, this 2m minus 1 will be equal to 7 and this 2n minus 1 will be equal to 5, and making them equal, we get m equal to 4 because 2m is equal to 7 plus 1 8 and m equal to 8 by 2, that is 4, and 2n minus 1 equal to 5 implies n equal to 3. The question is, putting them in this expression, we can write this one, and from this definition putting this 2 in this part, making it 1 by 2, so 1 by 2 beta mn, so beta 4 3. The beauty is here that as 4 and 3 is coming, according to the formula of beta function and gamma function's relationship, it will be gamma 4 gamma 3 by gamma 4 plus 3, that is 7. So gamma 4 gamma 3 by gamma 7 with a coefficient half for this particular problem, we can easily calculate it because we know that gamma 4 is 3 factorial, gamma 3 is 2 factorial, and gamma 7 is 6 factorial. So already we have done this problem in this class, just now last to last slide most probably. So putting this particular value as 1 by 60 over here, we get the final value of this particular problem as 1 by 120. So these problems basically requires two things. First one, your common sense, through which you can actually relate this problem with the problems of beta function and gamma function. This is the first most important thing or required thing for solving these types of problems. And the second important thing for this types of problem is that after identifying that this problem can be tackled by beta function and gamma function, your job is to express this problem in the definition of beta function in its trigonometric form, and then the relationship between beta function and gamma function. So already I think it is clear to you that the problems can be tackled successfully with the help of the properties of beta function and gamma function, which was mentioned in the very first class of beta function gamma function, that the properties are having twofold effect. First one, we have to know them and we have to prove them, and second one, we have to keep them in our mind as an information, because we have to use those information as the tool for solving the problems related to them. So proceeding further, we get the next problem as of the same thing. So we have to find out the value of 0 to pi by 2 sine to the power 4 theta cos to the power 5 theta. So first job is the relationship between or the expression of beta function in terms of trigonometric function. Next thing is to find out the value of m and n. Putting the value of m and n in beta function, then converting it into gamma function, and then applying the properties of gamma function, we will find out the result of this problem. So if you just go through this, you will see that the same thing is done. Only one exception is there. In the first problem, both the parameters are fraction. In the second problem, both the parameters are integers. And now in this problem, we get one of them is integer, another one of them is a fraction. But it is not a big deal, because if you see that this 5 by 2 can be tackled by 5 by 2 is equal to 3 by 2 plus 1. So gamma 5 by 2 will be 3 by 2 gamma 3 by 2, then 3 by 2 into half gamma half, and gamma half is root 5. So by this we can tackle this one. Gamma 3 is nothing but 2 factorial, and gamma 11 by 2 already done in the class of gamma function first, and gamma 11 by 2 can be written as 9 by 2 into 7 by 2 into 5 by 2 and so on up to gamma half, and we can cancel it out. This is one technique, but another observation will lead you little less calculation. What is that? Gamma 11 by 2, if you observe that 11 by 2 will be going to 9 by 2, then 7 by 2, then 5 by 2, 3 by 2, half, and then it will close down. And 5 by 2, which is in the numerator part, will be going to 3 by 2, then half, and then gamma half will be having root over pi, and then it will close down. But as they are in numerator and denominator, that means this particular part gives us the indication that we can cancel them out if we have made the problem little bit rationally. What is that? Gamma 11 by 2 not finding out the value of gamma 11 by 2 and not touching gamma 5 by 2. We are just converting gamma 11 by 2 to 9 by 2 into 7 by 2 into 5 by 2 gamma 5 by 2. We are not approaching for 3 by 2 or 1 by 2, because this gamma 5 by 2 in the denominator part and this gamma 5 by 2 in the numerator part, we can cancel them out. And if we can cancel them out, then the problem will be of little less calculation and the problem will be more easy for performing. So this 9 into 7 into 5 will be remaining in the denominator. This 2 will be going in the numerator, so half, this 2 is in the upper part, and we get 9 into 7 into 5, and this 2 is coming from gamma 3, that is 2 factorial. This 2 and this 2 is cancelled out, 8 by 9 into 7 into 5, that is 315. So not only the problems, but also you can make your effort little bit smarter. Now the next problem, this looks like initially a different problem than the previous problems, but after a single step you will analyze, you will be able to understand that this is also the same type of problems. What is that? Tan x is sin x by cos x, and sin x by cos x to the power half means sin x to the power half by cos x to the power half, that is sin x to the power half into cos x to the power minus half. Now you will get the problem will be similar to the last problems, because already we have reached up to this part. Just this x is replaced to theta. It is not at all an issue, because it is in the under the definite integration problem. So this x, this theta, everything will be same. So now our job is to write or extract what is the value of m if I want to write it by 2m minus 1, and what is the value of n if we want to write it by minus half. So m is coming as 3 by 4 and n is coming as 1 by 4. Okay. Now 3 by 4, 1 by 4, these values of gamma function is not known to us, as well as they are not bigger than 1, so that we can make it gamma n plus 1 form. But again, the same concept, that is the properties of beta function and gamma function, will be coming into the play. Look at this. Beta 3 by 4 comma 1 by 4 can be written as the formula, according to the formula of beta function and gamma function, that is gamma 3 by 4, gamma 1 by 4. But this 3 by 4 and this 1 by 4 actually gives us the clue that their addition is 1, and the formula for gamma m into gamma 1 minus m is equal to pi by sin m pi, where m is lying between 0 and 1. This formula is now going to be used, that is gamma 1 by 4 gamma 1 minus 1 by 4 by gamma 1. Now the problem is easier. Half gamma 1 is 1 and this is pi by sin m pi. So m is here 1 by 4 sin pi by 4. Sin pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. So 1 by root 2 will be coming in the upper part. This root 2 and 2 is cancelled out and we get pi by root 2. So this is the application of almost all the properties in a single problem we have shown. Clear? So now what we have to do, we are going to solve another problem of this one, where it is claimed that we have to show integration 0 to 1 x to the power m 1 minus x 1 minus x to the power n whole to the power p dx is equal to 1 by n beta function m plus 1 by n comma p plus 1. So it is not a tough problem. First of all, we have to believe that it is not a tough problem. We can solve it by the help of basic integration concept as well as the properties. So what is the process we are starting? We are taking that integration 0 to 1 x to the power m into 1 minus x to the power n whole to the power p dx. This is taken as I. Now what we do, we are assuming x to the power n as y. So n x to the power n minus 1 dx is equal to dy. And if we think for the limits of x and y, it was 0 to 1. So if x is equal to 0, y is 0, and if x is 1, y is 1. So the limit is remaining as same as it was. So what we can write for I is integration 0 to 1 x to the power m. X is y to the power 1 minus 1 by n. So x to the power n is y to the power m by n. From this x I can write y to the power m by n. Clear? Only for this one I have written this. Now 1 minus y to the power p dx. This dx can be written as dy by n into x to the power n minus 1. So n into x to the power n minus 1. So what is x to the power n minus 1? Look at this. X to the power m is y to the power m by n. So x to the power n minus 1 will be y to the power n minus 1 by n. You can calculate these basic things also by your own. Then your confidence will be higher. Now In the next line, this n is constant, so 1 by n is taken outside. It is 0 to 1. What we can do? Y to the power m by n, and here it is n minus 1 by n, so it will be coming in the upper part. So what is the result? It is y to the power minus n minus 1 by n. So taking LCM of this power n, it is m minus n minus 1, that means plus 1, because two minuses are going to be coming into play, and then 1 minus y whole to the power p dy. Okay, so in the next line what we can write? 1 by n integration 0 to 1 y to the power, I am writing it m plus 1 minus n. So m plus 1 by n minus n by n, that is 1. Clear? Then 1 minus y whole to the power p. Now this p can be written as p plus 1 minus 1, then dy. Now I think it is very much clear to you that why I am writing this expression, the power of y and power of 1 minus y, in the form of something minus 1 and something minus 1, because you know that the definition of beta mn. What is beta mn? Integration 0 to 1 x to the power m minus 1, then 1 minus x whole to the power n minus 1 dx, where m and n are greater than 0. Clear? So if I can write this expression in such a way so that this expression can be written in the form of y to the power m plus 1 by n minus 1, then 1 minus y, it is 1 minus x, it is 1 minus y, then p plus 1 minus 1. So comparing it with the definition of beta function, what we can write? It will be 1 by n, it will be 1 by n as for this one, beta. Then what is this m? Comparing it with this one, we can write it as m plus 1 by n. And what is the value of n for this comparison? It is p plus 1. So we can write this integration as in the form of beta function by this. And once it is written, the required thing is already achieved by us. So initially, by looking at the problem, where we have the problem like this, we think it is a very difficult problem or big problem. It is not a big problem, it is a small problem. And what I was emphasizing, you can reach to this particular destination only when you are making the conversion of x and y perfectly. So you please think for this one, x to the power n is equal to y means x is equal to y to the power 1 by n. This implies x to the power m is y to the power m by n. That is why it is y to the power m by n. And similarly, you can calculate this y to the power n x to the power n minus 1. So instead of this one, if I want to find out that x to the power n minus 1 is what, then it will be y to the power n minus 1 by n, which is used here, and this one is used here. So this is the technical part, this is clear. But the conceptual part is that it is in our mind that I have to replace it, this x 1 minus x form. It is x to the power n, so I have to replace this in such a way so that I can write this structure in the form of beta function and gamma function. So almost we are in the last part of the class. We just have to give some information to you, and then we will complete this. That this is the assignment for you, and finally you have to solve all these problems. And this is the references what we have used to formulate this particular lecture, and I want to thank you all. Happy listening, happy learning.